Gold investing. 3 reasons why gold price jumps. Most people don't know this. After watching this video until the end, you're gonna know what's happening in gold market and what could happen in near future. Welcome to World Traveling, Stock Investor and Option Traders and Gold Investor channel. Where are you watching from? Comment down below. Right now, gold price jumped to 4,357, and 1 week it jumped over 6.62%, just like that. And year to date is barely up 0.54 because gold price was down a few days ago. Gold price was down 6%, around 6% year to date. Remember, in investing world, any asset price can jump and go down anytime. If you want to learn more about gold investing, stock, options, real estate, cryptocurrency, subscribe to this channel. This is not a financial advice. This is for educational purposes only, and investing and trading involve risk and anybody can lose money. And remember, doing nothing could also lose money because of inflation. But don't worry, because I invest in stock and I trade options, that the past 4 trading days from August 4 to August 8, I made over 7,300, right? So it's very important. It doesn't matter the market is going up or going down. It's really important to make consistent profit. So if you want to learn more how I make consistent profit like this, subscribe to this channel. So what's happening with gold? Economy loses 23,000 jobs in July, and wage growth basically slows further. So how does it matter? Usually you might think, oh, economy is not doing well, people are losing jobs, wage growth slow, so they don't want to buy gold, the demand should be going down, the gold price should be going down, right? No, that's a very, very layman, people who don't know about investing, that's how they think. Remember, the central bank, it only has 2 jobs. The Federal Reserve, one is to maintain inflation, right? To minimize inflation, and second one is to minimize unemployment, maximize employment, because they want everybody to have a job, right? So which is good for economy. So they only have these 2. So because people are losing jobs and the labor market slows, economy is slowing, they're gonna think, hey, we have a few tools available to stabilize this, right? One is to put in more money or reduce the money supplies. The other one is to raise interest rate or reduce the interest rate. While economy is not doing well, if you raise interest rate, most of the companies, they borrow money, right? In order to make profits, they need to hire more people, right? They need to supply more products, so they need to hire more people. If they are not profitable yet, unprofitable companies, they need to borrow money to hire people to operate, to keep on operating. If Federal Reserve raise interest rate, what's going to happen? The cost of borrowing goes up. If the cost goes up, it's very difficult to do business, right? Either they have to stop hiring or they need to reduce, lay off people. So Federal Reserve, they don't want that. They want to maximize employment. They want to minimize inflation. So the chance of Federal Reserve increasing interest rate goes down when economy is doing badly, right? When people are losing jobs, they're not going to raise interest rate. So that's going to be doing opposites of their objectives, right? So how does it matter for gold price? Remember, gold price is very sensitive to interest rate. When interest rate goes down, gold price goes up. When interest rate goes up, gold prices come down. So why does it happen that way? Because most investors, they borrow money to invest in gold. Usually gold, they are not like stocks or companies, they don't pay dividend and they are not productive, and they also incur storage costs. So by reducing interest rate or just keeping it the same instead of raising, investor gonna think, oh, Federal Reserve not gonna raise the interest rate. So I know where interest rate is gonna be. Or it's better if they reduce the interest rate, right? So you know what? I'm gonna borrow more money to buy gold. I'm just gonna buy more gold. So that's why gold price goes up. So that's why economy data is very important. We can get private jobs data, job reports. Where basically, Federal Reserve, they're not gonna raise the interest rate with a job report like this. They will be too stupid to do that, right? So we investor basically are confident in the Federal Reserve to do the right job, the right decision. So based on that, our faith in the Federal Reserve and also based on the job reports, they're not going to raise the interest rate. So that's why we're just going to keep buying gold. That's reason number 3. What is reason number 2? It's geopolitical and market shifts. There are signs of political, diplomatic de-escalation between US and Iran. You know, they're going to stop the war again and they're going to negotiate again. And then there is a chance that Hormuz is going to be reopened again. So why is it important? You might think, if there is a war, there's an uncertainty. If there is an uncertainty, most likely gold price is gonna go up, right? Not in this case. Yeah, Ukraine and Russia war and the other parts of the war, if there is a war breakouts, people are gonna buy gold. But this time is different. Why? Because of the oil, crude oil, right? Most of the things that you buy, you eat, fruits, vegetables, you know, like laptop, they need oil to produce them. At least transport, right? They're not gonna come to your table for nothing. Somebody has to transport it with a truck. So what do trucks use? Gas, right? They use gas. Gas comes from crude oil. So crude oil is very important. The one that you're using right now, the phone, laptops, they need energy to manufacture those products, electronics products. So where does energy comes from? Oil, crude oil. So because there is a de-escalation, there is a chance that Hormuz is gonna open up, the oil price is gonna goes down. So when oil price goes down, inflation goes down. Inflation is not gonna go up. If oil price goes up all the time, inflation is gonna go up because the products you eat, you buy, is gonna be more expensive. If inflation goes up, Federal Reserve have to raise interest rate. So bad for the gold. So because Hormuz is gonna be opened up and there is a signs of peace. So the oil price is gonna go down, inflation is gonna go down. They don't need to raise interest rate. So that's why the gold price shot up 6% within 1 week. That's pretty good. And there's a reason number 1. Most people will have never guessed. Why is that? It's US helped by Japanese yen, right? So why does US buying Japanese yen have to do with gold price? Japanese yen has been depreciating, so their currency value dropped because their economy is mostly import economy. When their currency drops, everything they buy becomes more expensive. During normal times, it could be quite okay, but right now with the gas prices very high and their currency value drops, it's like double warming for their inflation. So Japanese was thinking about selling US dollar. Why? They have to sell US dollar, right? If they want to increase the value of Japanese yen, they need to sell something and buy Japanese yen. What do they have a lot of? It's US dollar. They have lots of US treasuries. Right? US treasury is a debt, basically. US owe Japanese money. So if Japanese sell US debt, what's gonna happen? Their US dollars value is gonna go down, and lots of investors are gonna demand higher interest rate to buy US treasury. If the higher interest rate, that means that it costs US a lot more to finance their debt because US debt already exceeds GDP during the President Trump terms. So President Trump US stepped in to buy Japanese yen. So this is very, very important sign, okay? So markets know that, oh, US government doesn't usually do this, but they have done it before. They must have done this, interventions. Personally, hey, they must care about interest rate going up so much. They don't want their interest rate to go up. So that's a very good sign that they're going to do whatever it takes to keep interest rate stay the same or go down. Hey, so investor got bullish on gold, silver, precious metals because we could just keep borrowing to buy these commodities. So that's why these prices goes up. So very, very important. If you want to learn more about gold, silver, precious metals, and stock options, subscribe to this channel. Right now, Japanese yen value jumps, US value drops. Japanese yen used to be 163.86 on July 28. Then after that, US dollar value drops, Japanese yen appreciates. So look at this. Yeah, it wanted to, US dollars wanted to go up a little bit, but then went down. So, but over time, Japanese yen has been depreciated and US dollar has been appreciated against Japanese yen. If you look at this, yeah, there are a big jump, drop in US dollar, but then the trend is quite consistent. But if I were the foreign currency trader, I would be bullish on US dollar. But as an investor, I usually like to buy assets like stocks, gold, precious metal, mostly stocks because they are productive. And remember, US government can print a lot. If something can be printed at any time they want, it's not valuable. I'm not going to hold something that has abandoned in nature. And for stocks, there's limited amount, right? For precious metals, gold, they have a limited amount on Earth too. So I like to buy assets like real estate, limited land, limited locations. So I like to own assets. So what's going to happen? My professional opinion is gold is overbought now. Gold, silver, precious metals, they are overbought now. So usually I will DCA, and right now probably I will just wait, because I have other investment. I don't need to buy gold right now, so I will just wait. And there's also a chance that Federal Reserve might raise their interest rate too. So if there's any fear, it doesn't have to really materialize, but it just have to have a fear in the market that Federal Reserve is going to raise interest rate. If there's a fear, then I'll drop. I'm just going to buy gold again. Of course, this is not financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm thinking about doing. If you want to learn more, go to Master Risk Stock Option Crypto. Go to playlist. You can learn about stock, call option, put option, advanced option, day trading movement, stock, and gold and precious metal as well. Share, subscribe. I will see you in the next video. Bye.